good morning, everyone. Hello, hello, hello. How's everybody doing? It is April here from Offer HR and Business Solutions. How's your morning going? Everybody's morning going well? Is your morning going well? How many cup of coffees have you done had? I'm only on my second one. How's everybody doing? So I'm dropping in a chat with you guys for a little bit. I'm again April from Alpha HR and Business Solutions. So I'm dropping in with some tips for you this morning. This month is aligning your HR strategy with company goals. That's our topic. Every month we have a topic, right? Our HR topic. And so, just really quick, if you have an idea or something you want me to cover, a HR challenge or HR project, drop it in the comments for me, okay? I'm always looking for new ways to bring a perspective and deliver HR information that directly impacts um, you, okay? And so that would be very helpful to me. Just let me know, hey, I would like you to cover, can you cover this issue? Or I want to know more about this, okay? Um, so I'm going to talk a little bit about these tips that I have for you. And then I'm going to share two things that I have going on this month, okay? And then the third thing I'm going to do is I'm going to drop a link for you because I really want to know what HR challenge you have and what is keeping you awake at night, right? In your business. Hopefully it's nothing, right? Hopefully it's nothing. Hopefully you're sleeping like a baby. Okay, so let's jump in with these tips. Again, these are tips, 5 tips for aligning HR strategy with your company goals. So let me explain a little bit though. Give me a little context um, on connecting your HR strategy with your company goals. Okay, and so to let you know, can you hear me? You guys can hear me, okay, right? Let me know if you can hear me. So I'm live on Facebook, live on YouTube, and on Instagram right now. So I hope you're watching. Are you watching? Because you need to stop what you're doing so you can watch. Okay. But let's jump right in and let's give it a little context for you. Okay. And so this information is great for if you are growing your business. So this is whether you are, small, mid-size. My niche is more mid-size. But you got to start from somewhere. And so you don't want to be like roaming in the dark with connecting your strategy, your HR strategy, with the goals that you have set for your company. Okay. And I'm going to give you a couple examples that are going to help you kind of put it together. Okay. And have this discussion, with your team as to making sure that these strategies, these HR strategies, are supporting your company goals. Okay. Okay. So this is where we'll start is with the strategies and why it's important, right? Why is it important that your HR strategies are supporting and connected to your business goals? Okay. And so it has to do with the big picture. So it's not about where you currently are in your business, but where you are headed. Okay. Where do you want to go? Right. As a business owner, we set the 1 year goal, 5-year goal, 10-year goal. So do you want to position your company and how do you want to, what are your plans for getting there? Okay. And in HR has a lot to do with your big picture. Now, of course, sometimes as HR managers and business owners who are dealing with HR day to day, sometimes you can kind of lose sight of that, right? It can kind of fall by the wayside because you're challenged with things like, I need to get people hired. I have these issues, this toxic person or this toxic environment, or my team is not trained well enough. To they need additional training. So how do I do that? How did I get to that? Right. And so some reasons it's very important that you are putting to get that you're connecting the HR strategies that you're doing in your business with your company goals. Okay. And so that takes a moment to sit down and just reaffirm where you are in your business. Where exactly are you with regard to the strategies that you're using? And when we talk about strategies, we're talking about for recruiting, for hiring, for onboarding, for retaining, right? For developing, right? Each of those requires a different strategy, right? The strategy for recruiting is not going to be applicable to your training. So you got where I'm going with this, right? And so when we talk about how are we getting there, you want to get that big picture. I think last week I did on LinkedIn, and on my Substack, I'll drop the link below if you want to watch for my newsletter. Yeah, so if you want to listen to my or read my newsletter, spit it out. For LinkedIn last week, I talked about, have you lost sight of your vision? And again, when we are dealing with day-to-day operations with HR and the day-to-day, sometimes mundane tasks or the issues that are at hand, and if you're doing that day in and day out, sometimes you can lose sight of where you are and with regard to your workforce and the goals of your company. Okay. And that happens. It's nothing to feel bad about it because we're dealing with a million things at one time, right? But it's really important that you get back to that big picture. Okay. It's really important that you get back to that big picture. Where am I going? Am I still headed in the direction that I want to go? Okay. And so the alignment ensures that you're hiring the right people in your company that are going to support your company goals, not just hiring someone who matches the job description. Now, of course, you want someone that of course, you need someone that matches that job description, but it goes a little bit beyond that. That's why you're doing things like when you're recruiting, you're doing things like checking references, right? And screening individuals. So you're getting not only the right skill set, but the right personality. Because we've had those times where you hire someone and that person looks good on paper, right? Look great on paper. And then you hire that person and realize, or you're hiring someone with some of the skill set. Okay. And then that hire turns out to not be such a great fit. Okay. So when we talk about it, the reasons why it's so important that you are aligning your HR strategy with your goals, so they're supporting the various goals that you have in place for your business. Okay, so 5 clear business business owner friendly. These are not just for business owners, these are HR professionals that are in the capacity of growing a team. Okay, and so one of them, number one, is to hire the right people for the roles. It's very important that you are hiring people talent that is not only matching what what's the job description says, but how they are representing you as a business, right? How you are, how they're showing up to work every day. What kind of personality do they have? Is it fitting your culture? Does it fit your culture? Right? Are they looking good on paper and then not so much um, after the post hire? So then it's very important that you again check job references and screen and have when you're interviewing, have concise questions to get the information that's going to really show this, have this person to where you see exactly who this person is. Okay, so that's number one. You hire the right people for the roles. Okay, so when you know your growth plans, where you're headed, then your recruiting focuses on candidates with skills, mindset, and experience that's going to take your business where it wants to go. Okay, and as opposed to not just filling the immediate gap, right? Because you don't want to have someone that you're hiring, you're hiring and then they're not the right fit, and then in 30 days you're doing this all over again. Okay. Okay, so that's number one. Number two is your team is working toward the same objectives. It's making sure that you have everyone on the same page in terms of projects, in terms of deliverables, that the skill set they have is supporting the position that they're in. So clear alignment means that all of your employees understand how their role fits in, contributes to the company's success. One of my mentors has a document, or that when she hires, it explains not only what that employee is doing, but how that role fits into the company's objectives. Okay. And I think that's great. So they know exactly where they fit in on the team, because everyone is an intricate part of the team. And when you don't have one intricate part, nothing runs smoothly. Okay. Number three is developing. Okay. It's important that you connect your HR strategy with your company goals, so that you can it helps to develop your leaders for growth. Again, you want people on your team, especially leaders, that know where you're headed, right? So they have a clear perspective of where you're going. What are your goals? Are the goals the year goal or the 3-year goal? Is it to deliver a new project? Is it to grow the company by such and such X number of clients, right? What does your plan look like, and how do your leaders fit into that plan? Okay. A couple weeks ago, I talked in that same newsletter. I was talking about how I even got on that about the vision with a client, when the client had a person who's requested FMLA, but this person has had issues with tardiness and absenteeism. Oh, my question is, has this person been reprimanded or talked to about the excessive absenteeism and tardiness? And his response was no. So the leaders are not documenting, right? So you have no backup if it goes south. Okay, and these are the scenarios that I'm talking about, where someone, you fire them or they quit and then file for unemployment, and then they win. Why? Because this person has had um, um, uh, issues, behavioral issues in the business, and no one has documented it. And then you finally get mad and get upset and say, you know what, I'm letting this person go. But you've not documented all of the previous behaviors that would support you, right? Winning a um, unemployment decision is going to go their way, not your way. Okay, that's a scenario. One that many have dealt, business owners and HR professionals have dealt with, right? So that's what's so important. Why you have to make sure your leaders are trained to document, to address, to resolve issues and behavioral issues in your business. And again, a lot of times it's just all you need is a simple conversation, and the person that action corrects. Okay, so that's number 3. Number 4, the reason why it's important to align your HR strategy with your company goals is to maximize the resources and avoid wasted effort, right? If you don't know where you're going, you got all these wheels turning and they're going in all these different directions, right? And we want everybody to be going right the same direction, right? So everybody knows what the goal is. And so your leaders know how to say, this is the type of person, this is who we need in this position, right? So then you know who you're marketing for to fill this position. Okay, and so those initiatives mean, when you talk about resources, we're talking about the HR initiatives, benefits, training programs are chosen because they're directly supporting your company goals. And the 5th reason why it's so important that your employees know that your HR strategy is aligned with your company goals is it builds a culture that supports the vision, right? Everybody has to know the vision and understand that you're not just here to fill a seat. You are important to us. Okay, and so from hiring to recognition, every HR decision will reinforce what your company goals are. And so let me tell you a little bit about some examples. So if you have a company goal to increase revenue by 15% in 12 months, that's your right. That's what your company goal is. Your goal is to increase revenue by 15% in 12 months. And so your strategy could be, recruiting experienced sales professionals, providing advanced and sales training so that your salespeople are hitting the mark, and creating performance bonuses that structure awards that heed results. Okay, so that is where your ramped up recruiting and hiring and onboarding and retaining is supporting your company goal of increasing revenue 15% within 12 months. Okay, another example is improving customer service scores 80 to 90%. Now you notice that there are numbers there, right? That's so that your goals are measurable. You have to have those goals are measurable, as opposed to just saying, I want to increase revenue, or I want to improve customer service. By how much? That way you are able to measure. We increased by 80%, we increased by 90%, we increased by 80%, but our goal was 90%. I mean, 50%, but our goal is 90%. Okay, and so the HR strategy is to implement customer service training, right? And so you are intimate training your customer service for your frontline employees, creating recognition programs for hitting those goals, and sharing customer feedback, so that your employees they're well trained, they're hitting the mark, and your customers are letting you know. So again, you're using those measurables. They're SMART goals. They have to be measurable. So that's why it's important that you put a number. So you want to improve revenue by 15%. You want to improve customer service by 80 to 90%. So then there you have those numbers to measure the outcome, to see if you're hitting your goals. And so another example is, you may want to expand operations into new states by new year. You may want to deliver a new product. And so you want to, in terms of expanding the operations into two new states by next year. That's those two new states, and then by next year, that gives you a measurable goal. All right, and so you want to develop a scalable onboarding process, so that you're retaining employees and you're getting the right people on your team, ensuring multi-state labor compliance, right? So you're going into two new states, and so the labor laws vary from different states. So you have to make sure you're good on that front. And you hire regional managers that have experience, okay, in proving expansion experience, which means they know how to go into new territories to help you expand. Because advancing into a new territory differs from you just doing it, doing in your same territory. If you're in your same territory, your salespeople, they know that territory. Okay, so when you go into a new territory, it's going to change, right? And so you need salespeople in that area that know how to go into a new territory to grow your customers. Okay, so that's three examples of why it's important, and how you align your company goal, your HR strategy with your company goals. So they're supporting them. So you're headed towards that goal of increasing your revenue by 15% in 1 year, right? Or increasing customer service by 80% to 90%. That's your goal. Or going into two new states within a year to deliver your product or your service. Okay, so then those measurable goals, SMART goals. Okay, and so I'm gonna wrap up a little bit with the tips for how to align your HR strategy. I gave you 3 examples, but how to align your HR strategy with your company goals. Okay, and the first one we've been talking about from the beginning is the big picture for your company. Okay, so that you know where you are headed, and you are hiring people, you are retaining employees, or you reaching your goals, not for your current where you are, but where you're headed towards those goals. So know the picture, and only not you just know, but your team knows the picture. Okay, you don't. HR does not cannot operate in a silo. Everybody has to know and understand your company's mission, the vision, what objectives you have. So the HR plans have the same direction for each department. Okay. Number 2 is hire for where you're going, not where you are. Again, not hiring someone to just fill the gap, but someone who's going to support you reaching your company goals. Okay. Number 3 is another performance management, tying performance management to business metrics. Okay, we talk about HR metrics all the time. And it's so important that you are measuring the performance of your employees. Okay, not only is it good for you, it's good for them. Okay, so you want to make sure those goals directly support the company's priorities, whether it's increasing sales, whether it's gaining a new territory, right? Whatever, whether it's increasing customer service satisfaction. You want to make sure performance metrics support those goals. Now, you don't want to beat your employees over the head with metrics, but your employees need to know if they're performing. And if they're not, how can we support you to get you there? Okay. Develop leaders who drive strategy forward. Okay. That's something we've been talking about the last couple of weeks, is developing leaders who are striving to grow to support your company goals. Whether it's training and development, whatever it looks like. So you're training your your managers to know the goal, to know the direction that you're in, and how they support that goal with their team. How do they help your team, the one who they're managing, to reach those goals? Okay, so you want to make sure your managers understand the company's goals and equip them with them to lead. Okay, and align with those objectives. So manager training is key. Okay, some companies focus on training the employees. So yes, that are non-management, yes, you train them, but you also train your employee. It's important that you train your team leads and your managers. Okay, it's clear that not everybody that's in a role of a manager is equipped. So what do? You equip them with the training that they need. All right. And number 5 is measure, review, and adjust regularly. So you track those outcomes like retention, productivity, and engagement. And don't make it hard. It's easy. Okay, you can do that with surveys, quick surveys, as to where are your employees engaged. Are you seeing a problem with someone's product with their productivity? So you can help them. Alrighty, and check if your company is moving closer to your goal. So if you have set a goal of increasing revenue by 15% in 1 year, don't wait till 1 year to see where you are. You got to monitor it along the way so you know if you're on track. Okay. I know it's not easy, but the thing is that if you are having trouble with these metrics, if you're not set metrics, if you're not watching metrics, you have to watch your numbers in HR just like you do in finance and marketing. Okay. So if you have questions about that or you need support in that, you reach out to me. Okay. You can click in the comments below and we can schedule a session. Okay. I'd be happy to help you. All right. In the climate that we're in, business managers, HR professionals, HR managers are dealing with a lot. And so you can't, first of all, you can't do it alone. Okay. Again, HR cannot operate in a silo, but by just one person. It takes the whole team. And sometimes that team is extended. Okay. Sometimes it's an extended team. And that's what we are. We're the extended team. Okay, we are the extension of your team. All right. So if you have questions about that, let me know. Drop it in a comment. Just let me know that comment session, and we'll schedule a session, a 30-minute session. Right now, we're doing a 30-minute session with business owners and HR professionals that are dealing with some HR challenges. We're here to support you. Okay. So that's what the tips that I have for you. Okay. And so real quick, I'm going to go over those tips. So the tips for how to align your HR strategy, because I've delivered a lot of information here, is number one, know that big picture. And not only you know that big picture, but your whole team knows that big picture. Number two, hire for where you're going, not where you are. You don't just want someone to sit in that seat. You want someone who's going to support your company reaching its goals. Number three, the performance management to business metrics. Okay. If you want to track your metrics, if you have not been tracking your metrics, put metrics below in the comment. And I have an HR metrics calendar or calculator that was very helpful, very user-friendly, easy to use. Okay, I'm gonna drop it down here anyway though, and then you can just get it. Okay, I'm just gonna drop it down here. Okay. And so develop your leaders is number four, who drive strategy performance. So who drive strategy forward. So they know, these leaders know what to look for. If your leaders don't know what to look for, how can they get you there? And so if your current leaders are not working to get you there, then you train them. Okay, you train them. You train them on how to grow your team, on what that looks like. Okay. Number five is measure, review, and adjust accordingly and regularly. Again, if you have a goal of rate of increasing revenue by 15% in 1 year, don't wait till 1 year to check and see where you are. You should be checking where you are at least quarterly. Okay. If you are looking to, go into new states, check with your salespeople and see where are you in terms of achieving that goal. And you don't wait to the year. You have to monitor those goals along the way. Okay, so that's what I have for you today. If you have questions, do me a favor and just drop them down below. Okay, if you have questions, just drop them down below. Okay, I love HR questions. So the second thing I have is We are the hiring your first employee, um, uh, first employee digital course. It's a mini course. Okay. And so if you're hiring your first employee or if you're a micro team, this is for you. All right. I'll drop the link below. It's only $57. That is the cost of your monthly coffee budget to make sure to make sure where you are, that you are, if you're hiring or hiring your first employee, that you have the skill set and the knowledge to get that done. Okay, don't be scared, don't be afraid, just a little nervous. I know you are, but this course is action packed, is knowledge packed. It has templates. It has information on, how to hire, how to do a job description, how to onboard. Yeah, it has a lot of information in there, a lot of templates, tools in there to help you get where you want to be in terms of hiring your first employee. Now, this program is also for many micro companies. So if you have hired your first 2 or 3 people, you want to make sure you have the right posters up. You want to make sure that you are ready for your next great hire, that you're doing the right things. Okay, so that's what this course is for. I'll drop that link in here as well. And then the third thing is these for my mid-size clients or mid-size companies. I'm doing a 5-day boot camp, which starts September 15th, I'm sorry. And it's a 5-day boot camp. It's an employee relations boot camp. And it's charged with developing and growing harmony in your business. And so in these 5 days, you'll get the trainings. The first day is conflict resolution made easy. Okay, so you'll learn how to navigate conflict resolution, how to prevent conflict, how to deal with your the conflict resolution, but how to prevent it. And there is a such thing as positive conflict. Okay, so that is day 1, conflict resolution. Day 2 is managing supervisory, managing bullying and harassment. Okay, so we're going to talk about that, and you'll learn the signs to look for, how to handle that. Okay, how to handle it fairly. Okay, day 3 is harassment training and prevention. Okay, so day 2, we're supervising bullying and harassment. Day 3, we're doing harassment training, harassment prevention training. You wouldn't believe I'm trying to get your call right. And number 4, give me 1 second. I will drop the link so that you can see exactly what those trainings look like. Progressive discipline. That's actually day 3. Progressive discipline and documentation. That's the third one. All right. Yep, that's what it is. So we have progressive discipline. We have workplace conflict resolution made easy is day 1. Day 2 is progressive discipline and documentation. Day 3 is supervising and resolving bullying and harassment. All right. And day 5 is sexual harassment, or is harassment. We're not just dealing with sexual, we're doing harassment, prevention and training. And then day 5 is building the culture, a safe culture. Okay. And so those are the 5 that we're going to have. Each day training is 2 hours. It's from 11 to 1 o'clock, with one from 1 to 1:30 being questions. You'll have a ton of templates to help you. The SOPs for how to do the supervising, the bullying and doing training, how to handle those situations, and how to set up a employee complaint system. So that week training is $197. And if you can't make it all days, that's fine. Because you'll get the replays. You'll get the replay of the project, the whole boot camp. Okay. All right, sound good? Okay, so I'm gonna drop that link. I'm gonna drop the link for the link for the calendar. You can just click on it and download it. Not the calendar, calculator, the HR metrics calculator. And I'm also dropped the link for your mid-year HR check-in. Checkup. I'm gonna drop that checklist down in here for you. All right. So I have a couple things I'm gonna do, some goodies. I always have goodies for you. Okay, so I'm gonna drop those down in here for you. And that's what I have for you guys today. I don't know what happened. Oh, dang. Okay. Anyway, so that's what I have, folks. All right. So that's what I have for you today. And if you have questions, drop them in the comments below. I'll be glad to answer them. I have some freebies that I am dropping down here, which is the HR metrics calculator, the mid-year HR check-in, mid-year HR check-in checklist. I'm also drop the link for you to register for the employee relations boot camp, and I'm gonna drop the link for the course, the hiring your first employee course, because again, that's for individuals that are hiring their first employees, and it's also for individuals or HR professionals or business owners who are have small teams, and you just want to make sure you are aligned with what you're doing, that you've done the right thing and you are doing the right thing in terms of managing and growing your small team. Okay. All right. So that's what I have. I'm going to drop these links in here for you. And I want everyone to have, excuse me, have a wonderful Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. Drop your comments below. Let me know what questions you have. All right. I look forward. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Ugh. You wouldn't believe I'm catching a cold. So I'll see you guys tomorrow at 10:30. And I want you to have a wonderful Tuesday. Okay. All right. Don't forget that business can be like a circus. Don't let HR be the elephant in the room. I want you to stay safe and be kind. All right. I'll check you guys out later. Have a great one.